What's up? Happy Wednesday. Is that right? Yeah, happy Wednesday. Welcome to the Be Your Own Hero show. This is the third episode of season 2, 83rd episode total of the Be Your Own Hero show. Hero is an acronym. It means helping everyone reaps optimism. In other words, it's a reciprocal action. I'm your host. I'm sekouwrites. I'm a professional creative, and I'm the creator of the Hero Gear Ministry, which is my effort to provide the unhoused with wearable affirmations and brand new clothes at the same time. So that's what this is. All right, so quick disclaimer, I am not a certified personal trainer, nor am I a licensed financial advisor. So take what I say with a grain of salt, but I'm simply telling you what I've learned from my experiences. I'm hoping that something that I say will resonate with you. And all that said, shout out to New Thought Media Network for allowing me to be here to talk about my journey of becoming my own hero. There's the website, it's ntmedia.org. You can go there to donate. You can also check out the other programming on the New Thought Media Network. Speaking of which, right after this at 10:15 is prayer time, and then right after that is Sip with Rev Melissa. Okay, so that's all the introductory stuff. Typically, well, for season 1, this was Workout Wednesday. But for season 2, this is Winning Wednesday. We talk about how to win in the stock market, which is really what we're talking about every day, right? That's what we talk about right now. Financial literacy with a spiritual perspective. Okay, let's see. What are we talking about first? Let's do the Hero Gear Ministry update first. Get that out the way. Today was day 121 of my Hero charity run. 121/19. So 121 days of me running every single day, at least a mile a day for the past 121 days. That takes us all the way back to June 1st. And day 19 of me running a 5K every single day for the past 19 days. So super excited, super impressed with myself. Go to my website, and there's a link right there on the homepage to the charity run. Yeah, to the charity run, and you can make a donation. You can make a flat donation of a minimum of $1, and you can make a pledge of 5 cents per mile and up from there. So please make a donation. 100% of the proceeds are being donated to 7 different nonprofits that work with the unhoused community in 4 different cities across the nation. I'm really excited about being able to do that work. So please help me, help me, help me. And also, I am sending Hero Gear merchandise to those nonprofits. I haven't done all 7 yet, but the idea is to send the bonus items directly to these nonprofits so that they can distribute the items to the people that need them the most directly. So that's what's going on with that. All right. Let's see. Anything else? Oh, shout out to Mama Rev Mel. That's what I'm calling Rev Mel's mom. She said on Facebook that God has blessed me with the strength to be able to do this, what I'm doing, this run that I'm doing. So I appreciate that. And yes, it's true. This is definitely far beyond anything that I thought that I was capable of. So just a reminder that you are capable of much more than you think you're capable of. Okay. That said, I just sold another bracelet. So shout out to Stephanie from New Jersey. She's actually got me on a throwback tip. She sent me a picture of a bracelet I made a long time ago. It was another one of the bracelets in my Panther collection, which I created, which was inspired by the Black Panther movie. So I'll be sending that bracelet out. And the reason I'm mentioning it here is because I'm going to donate a portion of the proceeds from that purchase, again, to my Hero charity runs. So there's that. And these are today's bracelets. I don't know if you can see those, but today's bracelets, Amethyst and Tiger's Eye. Okay, let's get into some money. Hope you have your pen and paper. If not, go grab it. Let's go. Remember our thesis statement. The only thing keeping us from infinite riches, I added a word. The only thing keeping us from infinite riches are mindset, knowledge, and action. Mindset, knowledge, and action. So that leads me to the required reading. The class materials for this class. So I've given you a couple. We've got The Science of Getting Rich. It's a book by Wallace D. Wattles. It was written in 1910. Grab that book. It's available on Amazon. Also, start listening to, if you haven't already, my podcast, Get Rich 101. Those two go together because it's essentially the same text, but in my podcast, I talk about the text and I try to bring it modern. So go grab both of those. Next one, if you've already done that, next thing up, grab Rich Dad, Poor Dad. It's a book by Richard Kiyosaki. It's very famous in financial circles. And essentially, he had a rich dad and he had a poor dad. And the one that you think is the one that's going to be rich, like the one who has the PhD and all the accolades, is not. And the one who is the high school dropout is the one who's rich. And he was raised with these two dads, and that informed his financial world, what he was taught versus what he was supposed to know. So check that book out. So that book is about knowledge. The Science of Getting Rich is about mindset, and my podcast is about mindset. Rich Dad, Poor Dad is about knowledge. So grab that. That's your next class material. Okay, so the smart people thing that I said yesterday struck a chord with a lot of folks. I got a lot of response to that. If I have time today, I'm going to circle back to it. But yeah, there was a lot there for a lot of folks. So let's do our affirmation and get into some money. As usual, I am doing this same quote from Bob Proctor. So let's say this together one time. I am so happy and grateful now that money comes to me in increasing quantities through multiple sources on a continuous basis. That's a great affirmation. I'm going to talk about more. I'll talk more about why I chose that specific affirmation soon. But let's get into some money. I got so much I want to talk about. So here we go. I got 2 questions from yesterday. So let's answer those. Oh, before I do that, just a reminder that our current goal, my current goal, and therefore I hope your current goal, is to create some fundamental, reliable stock portfolios, like a baseline. The first of those stock portfolios is what I'm calling the garden portfolio. You just put the money in there, you garden it, and let it grow over time. So we're still talking about the garden portfolio. Okay, so that said, I got a couple questions yesterday. First question was, how can I buy fractional shares if I don't have a smartphone? Good question. Robinhood and Cash App seem to be built for smartphone usage. So if you want to buy fractional shares and you don't have access to a smartphone or a tablet, what you can do is go to Fidelity. Now, I literally just found this out yesterday. You asked me the question, so I researched it, and this is the answer. Fidelity, which is a brand we all know, offers fractional shares. So you can just go to fidelity.com on your computer, laptop, desktop, and open an account there. And I don't have a Fidelity account, so I can't tell you more than that. But if you have trouble and you have questions, bring the questions back and I'll research. And maybe I'll open an account there too. You never know. So that was question number 1. Question number 2, can we have multiple portfolios at one brokerage? The answer to that is yes. This surprised me. I actually learned it from Wall Street Trapper. It was just an aside comment that he wasn't even thinking about. He was just talking about his portfolios, plural. And I was like, what? And so I knew that it could be done when you asked the question yesterday, but I decided, well, let me do it so that I can give you more information. And I'm glad I did, because there's a couple of quirks. So I opened a second portfolio on my Ameritrade account. I'm trying to get the language clear. So at my Ameritrade, I opened a second portfolio yesterday. That's pretty clear. So I know the process now. And it was kind of funny because I went online to do it first and I saw what I thought was it. And I went through the process and I was like, oh, I think that's the wrong thing. And I was like, okay. And I was doing it late at night. So I was like, all right, I'm just gonna wait and I'm gonna call them. So the next day I called him and I was like, listen, I was trying to open a new portfolio, but I opened an account instead. And basically he was like, well, what are you trying to do? And I said, we went back and forth on this for a little bit. And finally I just made it real simple. I was like, I'm just trying to have different buckets for my stocks, different buckets. He said, oh, well, then you did the right thing. So what you need to know is that you are opening a second account, not a portfolio, a second account. If you're going with Ameritrade, it's a second individual account. And that is your other bucket where you can create a portfolio of your liking, right? So that's the first quirk. It's called an individual account. Now, once you create the account, they'll ask you for a user ID. And what I did ultimately is I used the user ID to identify it for myself. So my user ID for my second portfolio is portfolio 2, because my main account, my first account is, portfolio 1. And so this new one I just created is portfolio 2. And then I'll just keep doing that. I'll use the user ID to identify the number of the portfolio. So portfolio 2, 3, 4, however many, right? Apparently there's no limit to the number of portfolios you can have, which is amazing. Let me get the language right. There's no limit to the number of accounts you can have within a brokerage house like Ameritrade. Reminder, you need zero money to open an account. Zero. Get off the porch. If you're still watching this show and you're still sitting on the porch watching, get off the porch. Let's go. You need zero money to open an account. So you will see pop-ups on Ameritrade that ask you how you want to fund the account. But there's an option to either skip or save and continue or something like that. But I guarantee you, you do not have to fund the account. You can get past it. I did it again yesterday. Both of the accounts that I opened at Ameritrade, I did not fund. Zero money. Super easy. Okay. So that's that. And also, once I created the second account, I wanted to link them. So again, I tried to do it online and I couldn't figure it out. And I called them and I was like, listen, I'm trying to link these two accounts. And the guy was like, oh, you want me to do it for you? And I was like, yeah, actually I do. You go ahead and do it for me. He did it in a snap and then sent me the information, easy peasy. And so that bears noting. Ameritrade picks up the phone. Ameritrade, you know how hard it is to get a live person these days at any big company? They pick up the phone. You just heard in the course of me telling the story that I called them several times and they picked up the phone. And they were super helpful. They treated me like I had $1 million in there, even though I only got $5, $6 in there. So it's great. And they'll do the work for you, which is amazing. And they'll let you know when there's a fee. Like if you want them to make stock trades, they'll tell you, all right, so just so you know, there's a fee for that. And this is what it is. I think it's $25 per trade. So they'll tell you. But it's great to be able to get a live person. Like that alone is worth the price of admission, which is zero, by the way. Okay, that's it. Oh, and then also in the course of us talking, he was like, as an aside, he was like, oh yeah, by the way, we're available for phone calls 24/7, 365. And I was like, what? Like I had such a big reaction. He started laughing at me. I was like, 24/7, 365? He was like, yeah, you're always here. So when I was working on this account late at night, the night before, I could have just called. I didn't know that though. I figured that they had banker's hours. They do not. So again, that's good to know because I have not tried to reach somebody over the phone for Cash App or Robinhood, but I imagine I won't be able to. That's it. That said, moving on. When we linked the accounts, he asked if I wanted it to be one-way or two-way. I did not know what in the world he meant, so I asked him to explain it. So basically what it is if it's one-way, your main account can see what's going on in the new account, but the new account can't see what's going on in the main account. So I imagine this would be useful if you're creating an account for someone else and you don't want them to be all in your pockets about what you're doing financially. But since both of these accounts are for me, I made it two-way. So again, that's something for you to know. One-way versus two-way. You just decide that in advance. I would suggest, having said all of that, just call them. They answer the phone fast. They're very helpful. They do things for you on the computer. So I would just call them and say, hey, listen, I want to open a second individual account on Ameritrade, and then they'll set it up for you. They'll walk you through the whole process. And then when they finish that, say, okay, I'd like to link them. Either one-way or two-way, I'd like to link them. And then you're done in like 5 minutes. So that's what I would suggest. So I learned a lot of information. Thank you for the question, because answering the question gave me a lot of information. Oh, shoot. I'm out of time. Just that fast. Oh, no. All right. I got a lot more to talk about tomorrow. Stay tuned for prayer time right now. And then at 10:30, stay tuned for Sit with Rev Melissa. And you'll see me back here tomorrow talking about money on the Be Your Own Hero show. Till then, keep doing Be a hero, be your own hero, and remember that now is better than perfect. All right, later.